Nicole Listema from the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, Atlanta, and I will be conducting your 1:45 p.m. briefing for Wednesday, February 5th, 2020. We're going to talk about a couple of things today, mainly centered around a strong storm system that will impact much of Georgia tonight and Thursday. Our primary hazards will be damaging wind gusts, heavy rain and flooding, and a brief spin-up tornado cannot be ruled out. And if that's not enough, on the backside of the cold front, cold air and any lingering moisture will combine to produce the potential for a wintry mix across North Georgia early Friday morning. Currently, there is a cold front situated across the lower Mississippi River Valley and a warm front situated across central portions of Alabama. This warm front will push northeastward over much of Alabama overnight, with strong to potentially severe storms developing along and just behind the boundary within the warm sector. For Thursday, that warm front has pushed into the middle Atlantic states, and that means the entire east coast of the U.S. is now in the warm and unstable sector ahead of the cold front. The cold front across Alabama will push east through most of our outlook area during the day tomorrow and then offshore the east coast overnight. For Friday, cold air will rush in behind that cold front, and any lingering moisture across North Georgia could end up as a wintry mix of snow and rain. The latest outlooks from the Storm Projection Center for tonight: much of West Georgia has been placed in a marginal to slight risk of severe thunderstorms, mainly for late this evening into the overnight hours. The potential for strong to severe thunderstorms will increase overnight as that warm front moves towards the Alabama-Georgia state line. Again, damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 and brief tornadoes are not out of the question. For tomorrow, Thursday, much of the outlook area for central and southeastern portions of the state has been placed in an enhanced risk, with a slight risk extending a little further north and west. That means the strong line of thunderstorms along or just ahead of the cold front will continue to move east across the southeast U.S. Again, the primary severe thunderstorm hazards will be damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour and brief tornadoes. Here's a closer look at the storm threats for Thursday. Damaging winds remain the primary threat with any storms on Thursday. However, a few tornadoes will be possible, mainly across parts of middle and south Georgia. Here's another way to look at our severe weather threat levels. The main takeaway from this slide is that we are confident that the threat levels are a little bit lower tonight, with Thursday, the threat levels increasing as that cold front moves through the area. Here's a look at the simulated radar reflectivity for midnight tonight through 10 p.m. on Thursday. It shows fairly well that line of strong to severe thunderstorms moving across the outlook area. When will you be in the clear? Well, for right now, we're currently thinking the severe weather is going to end from northwest to southeast, and the threat for northwest Georgia should end sometime in the mid to late morning hours. The central areas of the outlook area on either side of the I-85 corridor should be very late morning to early afternoon, and then the southeast portion of the outlook area sometime after 3 p.m. to the late afternoon hours. However, this graphic does not include the heavy rain and flooding threat, which could continue into early next week. Speaking of heavy rain, we expanded the flood watch a little further south and eastward earlier this morning. It includes most of our outlook area except for the far southeast areas. How much rain? On average, 2 to 5 inches of rain with locally higher amounts possible, especially in the higher terrain of northeast Georgia. Locally higher amounts up to 6 inches are possible. And I want you to remember heavy rainfall can produce very quick rises on smaller and fast responding creeks and streams, especially in the urban areas and the higher terrain. Speaking of the rivers and creeks, the current 5 day forecast is we have 15 points that are forecast to reach minor flood stage, and 11 points are forecast to reach action stage. However, this could change, especially if we have a band of heavier precipitation set up over an area and just kind of sit there for a long period of time. So keep attuned to the forecast in case there's any changes. How much wintry precipitation? Well, right now, little to no snowfall accumulations. The timing for this is after midnight Thursday night through Friday morning as the cold air rushes in behind that cold front and interacts with any lingering moisture uh, that's still in place. Mainly, snow can mix it with rain at times. Again, little to no snow accumulations, maybe a quick coating up to half an inch in the highest elevations of Georgia. In summary, the best timing for severe weather and flooding will be overnight and during the day on Thursday. However, river flooding is a longer term event and will likely linger into the weekend or early next week. The primary hazard is damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour, followed very closely by heavy rain, flash flooding, and river flooding. We cannot rule out a brief spin up tornado. And again, on the backside of the system, a wintry mix of snow and rain is possible early Friday. Future updates and briefings. No other special webinars are scheduled at this time. Any updates on this system, since we'll be likely transitioning to warning operations later tonight, will be relayed in real time via chat and social media. And we will continue to monitor the wintry precipitation potential for early Friday and again on Saturday with a secondary system. Thanks very much for attending.